imagine how could we tell in the future if a robot has a human-level intelligence? Back in the 50s, Alan Turing came with the idea of a test that could determine if a robot was an artificial intelligence creation or not. It consisted of a game in which, holding a conversation with someone unseen, one human should be able to detect if there was or wasn't a robot by looking at the use of language. If the human was fooled, then the robot approved the test. It was called the Turing test and was used in the movie Ex Machina to evaluate Ava, a fembot built by a tech millionaire who hires a man called Caleb to test her. As a result, Ava is better than any of today's robots in a human interaction. She manifests human-level motor skills, creativity, and social awareness, although this test wasn't another typical Turing test.
What would you like to know?
Whatever comes into your head.
Well, you already know my name. And you can see that I'm a machine.
Ava was disclosed and Caleb actually knew she was a robot before testing her, yet Ava understood Caleb's motivations for freeing her.
Did you program her to flirt with me?
If I did, would that be cheating?
Wouldn't it?
The sexual tension is the only way Ava had to fool him, and of course, she used it. The Turing test wasn't quite as complex as the Voidcam machine in the Blade Runner, yet more effective. The Voidcam was a polygraph-like machine that was used in the testing of an individual to see whether he was a replicant or not. The whole point of the test was to compare the involuntary physical reactions of the subject to the ones a human would have for each given situation in response to emotionally provocative questions.
You're in a desert, walking along in the sand when all of a sudden...
Is this the test now?
Yes, you're in a desert, walking along in the sand when all of a sudden you look down.
According to the movie, empathy is one of the few features that distinguish humans from artificial intelligence. When the test shifts to questions about his mother, Leon stands up, draws a gun, and shoots his interviewer. In Blade Runner, a replicant was a synthetic human with paraphysical capabilities, but the human resemblance hasn't always been a feature that filmmakers have been looking for. Perhaps the most memorable artificial intelligence robot in film has been HAL 9000, the robot that controlled the spacecraft in Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Hello, Hal, do you read me?
And it wasn't similar to humans except for the ability to hold a conversation and to solve complex problems. HAL never strayed from his original goals. All of his apparently dreadful actions are carried out simply because he believed it is the best way to complete the mission. It is not a survival instinct or emotion that makes HAL into a villain, just simple programming, which leads us to the question: does artificial intelligence provide the robots with real consciousness?
Great.
In the famous 1995 Ghost in the Shell film, they defined the ghost as the mental existence and the shell as the physical existence. As for this, Motoko Kusanagi, the main character, says in the movie that there are many parts to make a human a human.
他人を隔てるための顔、それと意識しない声、目覚めの時に見つめる手、幼かった頃の記憶、未来の予感。
It also includes features that human doesn't have, but she does.
それだけじゃないわ。私の電脳がアクセスできる膨大な情報やネットの広がり、それらすべてが私の一部であり、私という意識そのものを生み出し。
Motoko is constantly wondering about her existence, her feelings, and her body. Writers and directors have been pitting man against machine on the silver screen for decades, but what if it was the other way around? In the film Her, Theodore begins dating the operating system of his new computer, Samantha.
Thank you. Please wait as your operating system is initiated.
Hello, I'm here.
She doesn't have a body, but she does have a voice and shows him the risk of becoming emotionally attached to machines even though there is no humanoid package.
Last week my feelings were hurt by something you said before, that I don't know what it's like to lose something, and I found myself...
I'm sorry I said that.
No, it's okay.
But it all messes up, and we end up by realizing how pretty Lucy companions machines are, and leaves us reflexive about how do you give a robot a sense of right and wrong. In 1942, Isaac Asimov introduced 3 laws to control the behavior of robots. Not to injure a human being by action or inaction, to obey humans except when it conflicts with the first law, and to protect its own existence as long as it doesn't conflict with the law 1 or 2. Asimov's laws of robotics have become a key part of the science fiction culture. But they didn't exist back in 1927 when Maria, a female robot in Metropolis, created chaos and death for the workers in the city, symbolizing the fear that the industrialists had at that time for the unemployment caused by technology. So the fears and desires of humanity have become a reflection in film. And maybe they will become a reality in the years to come. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode. I hope you've liked it. Again, if you liked it, I suggest you to subscribe because there is more content coming, and watch the other episodes. Remember that you can pledge in my Patreon channel to help me make more videos like this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next.